All right, if you're a project controls apprentice, you know what I'm talking about. K15, risk management. It just kind of stares at you from the page, looking all official and, let's be honest, a little intimidating. But it really doesn't have to be. So today we're going to break it all down, step by step, and turn what feels like a huge challenge into one of your most powerful skills.
So to make this real, let's follow someone on this journey. Meet Jody. She's a level 6 apprentice over at IBIS stores, probably a lot like you. She's crushing it at her job, but K15? Well, that feels like a massive mountain she's got to climb. This is her story, and I'm guessing it might be your story too.
And this is the feeling, right? You see those words in your apprenticeship standard, risk management principles and processes, and your brain just goes, whoa, okay, where do I even start with that? It's a question pretty much every apprentice asks, but the good news is, Jody's not alone in this.
And neither are you. Let's bring in Jody's guides for this adventure. Adam, who's her mentor, and Olivia, her coach. Their whole job is to take this big, scary concept of K15 and just break it down into simple, manageable chunks to show Jody and you exactly how to move forward.
So, Adam kicks things off with the absolute basics. He explains that risk management isn't just about winging it or guessing what might go wrong. Nope, it's a structured process. And really, it boils down to two key things. One, getting a handle on all that uncertainty, and two, using what you learn to make smarter decisions. It's all about giving your team a clear look at the road ahead.
Now, Adam's next point is where things get really interesting. You see, the word risk usually makes us think of bad stuff, right? But he explains it's just about uncertainty, and that can actually go both ways. Yeah, you've got your threats, the negative things that could hurt the project, but you also have opportunities. These are positive risks that could pop up and help you knock your project out of the park.
And you can just feel Jody breathe a sigh of relief here. Olivia jumps in to really narrow down the focus. She makes it super clear that as a project controls apprentice, you are not responsible for every single risk in the entire company. It's not your job to figure out all the complex corporate rules, and, this is a big one, it's not your mission to get rid of all risk. That's impossible. Your job is to understand and manage risk within your project. That's it.
Okay, so with that cleared up, Olivia lays out a super simple roadmap. No more confusion, no more overwhelm, just 5 clear, practical steps that are going to take Jody from feeling lost to feeling totally in control. This is the path to mastering K15.
And here's that roadmap. You can see how it flows, right? It's all about building on what you learn. You start with the why, the principles, then you move to the how, the processes and techniques. Once you've got that down, you can figure out what to do about the risks. And finally, apply all that great insight to help your team make really smart decisions.
So, step 1. The principles. Why even do this stuff? Well, because if you don't, projects just fall apart. When risk runs wild, you lose control of your schedule and your budget. It completely wrecks your team's confidence, and the whole project becomes a guessing game. Honestly, risk management is the bedrock of project control.
Step 2 is all about the process. And what you've got to see here is that this isn't a straight line, it's a loop, it's a cycle. You identify risks, assess them, analyze them, and decide on a response. But you don't just stop. You have to keep monitoring everything, which then feeds right back into identifying new risks. This thing is alive. It's always running throughout the entire project.
Okay, step 3, techniques. This is where you get to put on your analyst hat. Olivia tells Jody that she's got 2 main tools in her toolbox. First is qualitative analysis. Think of this as your quick first look. A fast way to sort risks into high, medium, or low priority. But for those really big, scary, high-impact risks, that's when you bring out the heavy-duty tool, quantitative analysis, where you use actual numbers to figure out the potential hit to your cost or schedule.
So, you've analyzed a risk. What's next? Step 4 is all about strategy, picking your move. You've basically got 4 options. You can try to avoid it by changing your plan. You can reduce its impact or chance of happening. You can transfer it to someone else, like through a contract, or sometimes you just have to accept it and make sure you have a backup plan ready to go.
And that brings us to step 5. And honestly, this is the whole point of everything we've talked about. Your brilliant risk analysis is totally useless if it just sits in a spreadsheet. Your job, your real value, is to turn all that complex data into clear, simple advice that helps your manager and your team make great decisions. You're the translator between the numbers and the real world.
So now Jody totally gets it. She understands the ideas. But for her apprenticeship, that's only half the battle.
she has to prove it. So the next part of this journey is all about turning that knowledge into solid, concrete evidence that she can upload to her Aptum portfolio. You know, that online system where everything gets logged?
This is the million-dollar question for every single apprentice out there, isn't it? It's not enough to just know this stuff. You have to show that you know it. How do you give your assessor the proof they need to look at K15 and say, yep, signed off?
Well, luckily, it's not a mystery. Olivia shows Jody the kinds of things that count as great evidence. You can use your own work, like a risk assessment you helped with, or your analysis, maybe a report you contributed to. And you can also use your own thoughts in a reflective statement, or even better, get some validated feedback from your manager.
But hang on, here's the pro tip. This is what separates good evidence from great evidence. An assessor doesn't just want to see a list of risks, they want to see you interpret the data. Don't just show them what you did, you need to explain why you did it and how your insight actually helps someone make a better decision. That's the key.
And boom, there is a perfect example. Jody was helping her line manager Riddle with a summer fair event for IBIS stores. Look at this feedback from Riddle. It doesn't just say Jody did the task, it says her analysis led to an informed decision. That right there, that's the gold standard for evidence. Okay, Jody's got the knowledge, she's got the evidence. There's just one final peak to climb, the endpoint assessment, the EPA. That's the big final discussion that determines if you've passed. So Olivia and Adam help her practice to make sure she can walk into that room with total confidence.
So they run through some questions. Here's a total classic you might get. How did you ensure your risk analysis was proportionate? What the assessor is really asking here is, did you use the right amount of effort? Did you use the right tool for the job? They're testing your professional judgment.
And look at this awesome answer from Jody. She lays it out so logically. She started broad and quick with qualitative analysis. Then, she only did the heavy-duty quantitative stuff on the risks that really mattered. This shows she was being smart, efficient, and thinking about the project's needs. That's a perfect answer. Let's try another one, a little more advanced this time. This kind of question is testing whether you understand the consequences of your actions. You know, what did you decide to do about a risk, and what was the situation after you did it?
And again, Jody just nails it. She gives specific examples of what they thought about doing, transforming, reducing. She explains exactly how their action helped by lowering the probability. And then she uses the right lingo, saying the residual risk was acceptable. That is the language of a professional.
So, let's land the plane with this thought. After her whole journey with Adam and Olivia, Jody sees K15 completely differently. It's not some scary monster anymore. Risk management isn't about trying to dodge failure. It's about actively looking ahead for challenges and opportunities so you can actually engineer success. You're not just watching the controls, you're helping to navigate. You can do this. You've got this.